Hello and welcome to Baker Forward. I'm Dr. Lucas Fry, and with me, of course, is the esteemed mayor of Baker, Darnell Waits. How's life treating you, Mayor?
Great.
Yeah?
Blessed and highly favored.
You've
Thank
kind
you.
of had a really rough year here since you started off on the job.
It was a rough start. It was a really rough start.
How long was you in office before the actual flood?
About 35 days.
35 days?
35
felt like 35
days.
minutes.
Yeah, it's felt like 3-4 years already.
Well, as it said in the Bible, and then the rains came, and of course the city of Baker was hard hit, and I think the first thing people want to know is just how bad it was. So let's kind of relive a little bit of that and let the guys show us some video of what happened, and you can kind of lead it through it.
Well, this is Groom Road here. We lost about 975 structures in Baker, 35 businesses, a lot of them on Groom Road, 3,000 people displaced all over the city. Just a lot of water, a lot of devastation in areas that normally do not flood. And so it caught a lot of people off guard. We lost the fire station. We had to move the EOC. We had to move our shelter 3 times. We took water at the Civic Center, at City Hall. We took on water in the parking lot, and at the high school. So everything on Groom Road was just a lot of water everywhere, all over the place.
It was really something. I waded into the studio every day and tried to. We stayed on the air, of course, trying to inform people what to do and where to get help. And people were just overwhelmed with the water. I mean, it was just nobody expected it. And the church, of course, the Bethany, it owns this TV station, lost the North Campus.
Right.
And that structure is totally being renovated into something we'll talk about a little bit later. But are you seeing people rebuild for all of the homes, or what's the general consensus? People getting out? What are they doing?
Well, the council and I have done everything possible to make sure we bring people back. We have, the council has passed ordinances so we can use the modular homes, so people can have the modular homes and be able to work on their houses and work off the program that the state and FEMA has in place. We've also talked with inspections to be able to make it easier for people to start to work on their houses. We're doing everything possible so they can come back, and they're coming back. They're coming back slowly, and we're working them back. Because 2 things happens here. When people come back, they put their kids in schools, and we want those kids to be in our schools, and they come back and they help build the economy. So we're doing everything possible to let them know that they can come back to Baker. It's still a safe place to live. We're still the same community. We're just a little down now, but we're moving up.
Speaking of the school, I think we have some pictures of the actual damage inside the school. The high school itself was actually totally put out of commission?
It's totally put out of commission. That morning when we came in, that water was just rising real high. And remember, this is that's a brand new gym. They had just put that wooden floor in their gym, and they hadn't had a chance to play on it at all. But the whole high school was really damaged. The only thing that was saved was the football stadium, and they were able to revive that and continue to have football games there. And that was a good deal. That was a good deal for the city.
Yes, it is. People don't realize how important it is that some things can get back to normal as quickly as possible.
Right.
So what is the future of the school? Where's everybody at now?
Well, after having,
going to school?
Well, the high school is at the middle school, and they moved the other schools around across the tracks where they'll be situated for a while. After talking to the superintendent, he has a plan, and he hasn't unveiled the whole plan yet. But I'm sure that when he has the plan in place and he's ready to act, that he'll sit down and we'll talk. We've been working together to make this happen, and I've let him know any support that he needs, that the city is going to be behind him to make sure we either whatever he wants to do. If we want it, I mean, in my words, it would be nice to have a new school, but we know how that is. So, but whatever his plan is, I'll support him.
Well, I know that a new school would definitely be on everybody's everybody's wish list.
Right.
But it cost a lot of money.
Cost a lot of money.
New structure.
That's right.
Did the structure itself take a lot of damage that can't be rebuilt?
The structure took a lot of damage. I don't know whether it can be rebuilt or not. I think that's what he is assessing now, and so we'll just have to wait and see.
I see. I see. So the poor kid that just made it to freshman class had to go right back to the middle school.
Go right back to the middle school, and they're doing a great job down there adjusting. It just lets you know how resilient we are in Baker. And the kids, you know, when you go down there and you watch them, they just adjusted and they just keep moving forward. You know, more spirit for the city, though. It's more spirit.
During the flood, did we see a spike in crime in the Baker area like they did in other parts in Denham Springs? Stuff people were looting and doing. What was your general consensus of how?
No, we had a little spike in crime, not a lot of looting. Our police, they did a fantastic job of making sure, you know, we had the curfew that was on for a while, and that kind of calmed it down. And after that, I think that the police chief, his strategy worked to make sure that the streets were clear after dark. That was the main deal, because there wasn't anybody in those structures, and I think they did a good job. But we didn't get a whole lot of crime, but there was some. And what we're starting to getting now, though, is we're getting the squatters to come in. That's coming in now. People that don't have anywhere to live, and they're coming to Baker because it's a safe place to do it. But it's still a dangerous situation that we're in. So we're still working that. As you know, people, they just don't have anywhere to go.
Kind of like Katrina. I mean,
they're kind of like Katrina.
Here they come.
That's right.
So how many FEMA trailers are actually located in Baker?
Well, the last count, I think we had about 75 FEMA trailers in Baker. They're still coming in. They're on an 18-month window here that started in August. So we want to let everybody that has a FEMA trailers know that it doesn't matter when you got your trailers. In January or February of 2018, they're going to have to be gone. And we passed the ordinance so they could bring the trailers in. And I give all the credit to the council for that. And that was a big move. And once we did that, the other cities and the parishes started doing the same thing.
Well, when we come back, we are going to be speaking about some other matters that are happening around Baker. And we're going to talk about the new businesses that have come and the ones that were able to reopen, right, and how things are progressing. But we hope that you will stay with us here on Baker Forward as we kind of unfold how the city of Baker is recovering after the flood. Right now, here's a word from some people who care about the city of Baker and care about you. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Baker Forward. I'm Dr. Lucas Fry, of course, with Mayor Darrell Waits of the city of Baker. And for those of you down in Gonzales going, I really don't care about Baker, let me tell you, Baker cares about you. And everything that happens in this big metropolis area people call Baton Rouge, definitely affected by the city of Baker. Great people live here, great businesses are located here. If you want to go to the airport, you're going to come and see us. So, although technically I guess it's not in the city of Baker, everybody kind of refers to the airport being in Baker. I know they do down where I live in center of Baton Rouge. So the city of Baker has really came back quickly from this. I mean, like you said, the people here really have a fortitude to bounce back. What are we seeing as far as recovery? Are all the businesses back in business? Are we seeing percentage of? How's it looking?
A percentage, and the people are really working together. It comes from, it's just leadership among the council and the mayor's office, and just working with the different officials. And we have volunteers from all over the place. The churches have been great. The businesses are coming, they're coming back slowly. It has a lot to do with what's going on between those businesses and, you know, the state government and FEMA has a lot to do with it. Not one business owner have I talked to that he has no desire to go anywhere else but to be in Baker. And that's a good deal. And like I said before, we want them to come back, and we're doing everything possible to make sure that they have all the information to come back and be a part of our family here in Baker.
Well, Groom Road was one of the major hit areas, and up there is a particular place that has reopened.
Right.
I think we had some video to show of that.
Right.
What was that center?
That's the Baker Physical Therapy. That's Craig McCullough, who is a long time. His family has been in Baker for forever. And Craig told me from day one, when after the flood, that he was coming back, and they worked hard to get back, him and his family and volunteers. And we just did a grand reopening, a ribbon cutting for him, I think a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
And it was exciting to see Craig back and that business right there on Groom Road. And that made me feel really, really good, but it made me feel real good about him being back, but I understood that God was starting to bless us and bring those businesses back, and I know we're going to have others come back too.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing a lot of new businesses popping up here too.
Oh yeah. That shopping center, the Greenwood Shopping Center, has been one of the best things that happened for us. It was able to bring in businesses, and one of those businesses that just came in was a Hibachi Grill. That is a great place right there. And then we have the Liberty Tax people that were there. So that shopping center it's been a big help. It's beautiful on Main Road, and we're looking for some more people to come in. We just got a call the other day from Sorox, the Greek, and they're looking in Baker, and that shopping center has a lot to do with it. We also had Roses. Roses is a top-notch store that came in December, had a big grand opening for them. They are a firecracker. But the thing I love about Roses is that the lady that manages Roses, she lives in Baker. So she has an interest in Baker, and that store is beautiful when you go in there. It's really good.
Now, is it a flower shop?
It's Roses. It's a store. It's like a smaller version of Walmart. It has everything that you want, and it's one of the top stores on the East Coast. It's huge inside. So I said, go by and take a look at it. It's a wonderful place to go.
Check that out.
And then the U-Haul. The gas station on the north part of Main Street, he came to me, he said, well, I got some great news. I got the U-Hauls coming in. And the U-Hauls, that's the only U-Haul place on the north part of this parish. Everything else is toward the core Baton Rouge, but that's the only place we got. And if you see it, nice trucks and everything. And I thought that was awesome that he did that.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great, because there was a little place just across from Bethany Church that had a few.
That's right. There's a few, yeah. We still have the shipping store there, and that's a good place, and that's down, and that's ran by Miss Lana Fur, and we have that. So Baker's growing. We have the things that people really need in our community and in the surrounding communities.
Well, now that you got Hibachi Grill, possibly a Greek restaurant, and a
Right.
Pizza Hut, you don't need to go to Epcot anymore.
That's right. That's right.
You want to eat around the world, you just come to Baker and
That's it.
go to this one shopping center. We
That's
got it all.
We got it all. It's coming in.
So what do you see for your administration in the future? I mean, what is your focus right now for 2017 and going into 2018?
Well, the council and I, we have some goals. One of the things is we have our street program that's starting. That's what we ran on for street repairs and maintenance. We're doing a great job on that with the potholes, but we have some overlays coming for Sandra Drive, Harding Street, Deborah Drive, and Van Buren. And then as the money continues to come in, we'll continue to make the roads and streets better. The biggest project that we're talking about is our sports complex. That on Jefferson Highway we have baseball fields that we are starting to work on and bring them up to tournament standards, because the goal is to start having tournaments and bring baseball back to Baker like it was in the days, bring revenue into the city to help the businesses, and give our citizens something that they can go out on a Saturday afternoon and watch baseball at our new complex. And that's what we're working on right now. Focus hard on that, and the council has supported every move I've made with that.
How is the city financially?
Well, I mean, we are struggling at a point because we had to spend money that was not in the budget, but we're starting to get that money back from FEMA now, and we're holding our own. The revenues have stood. We've continued to cut expenses. My goal is in the next 4 years to be able to take the burden off of the general fund, create a surplus, so we can continue to move forward with other things that we want to do in the future.
With the flood, how many fire trucks did we lose? Do you have to pay for those?
Well,
police cars.
We had some great insurance, flood insurance at the fire station, and between the insurance and FEMA reimbursing us, we're going to be able to get everything back. They're starting to work on the fire station now to bring it back. We've just done the contract on it, so they're going to start the rebuilding process. And FEMA, we have our disaster recovery people that's working there with FEMA. We're working to recover the police cars and everything else that we lost during that flood. We're working hard. So we're working on the future, but we have the past. We're working to get that money back. We're moving forward. We moved from the flood to where we wanted to be. The flood was an opportunity for us to be better.
Well, when we come back, we will discuss the future of the city of Baker and the exciting new convention center that's getting ready to open in Baker, and some other things that you need to know about. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Baker Forward. I'm Dr. Lucas Fry along with Mayor Darrell Waits of the city of Baker, and that is what we are talking about, the wonderful metropolis of Baker, a great place to live, a great place to raise your family, and a city that is bouncing back since the big flood of 2016, something no one will forget. Isn't that true?
That is very, very, very true.
But we are forgetting it. We are moving forward, and the city is rebuilding. It's doing some wonderful things. But let's talk about exactly what you see for the future of Baker. I know you said started down a path of need some roads fixed. You got some projects there. But what's your plan? I mean, basically, you're appointed to be the salesman for the city.
That's
so
right.
what do you foresee in the future that you're working on, or possibly you can share with us?
Just building revenue, bringing businesses in, making it comfortable, keeping it safe for our citizens. Working on programs and things for our young kids to do, supporting our schools, making our events bigger and becoming bigger so we can attract people from all over the state, all over the parish to the city. Working on Main Street to clean it up, quality of life, to make sure quality of life is good, quality of place, which is, about just looking good and attractive. It's a great city. We have some great people, and people need to know who we are. And we need to get outside our boundaries and let them know who we are and be bold about it, be really bold about it, because we are the eye. We are the eye of the North. We are the only city that is really actually diverse, and we are a safe city, and nobody can deny that. And so some of the things that we're looking for that I'm excited about is the new convention center that's going to take place, that Bethany has really invested in this city, and I'm so grateful to them to do that. It's going to be able to house about 6,000 people, and what that is going to do is going to bring additional hotels. It's going to bring additional businesses to the Plank Road side, and everything on Plank Road heading north is going to start to grow. All those businesses, Brittany Seafood, Lanyap, all those businesses are going to start to grow now. And excuse me, I think that is a wonderful thing, and I thank God for it every day, and it has gotten us fired up. The council, we've been through there, I've taken every council member through there so we can lay our vision out, we're going to put our plan on paper, and we're going to take this gift from God and we're going to work it.
So you've toured the facility there?
Several times.
That's great.
It is.
When are they anticipating opening?
I don't know, and I think when they are ready, we'll be ready to go.
I understand. I understand. Well, I definitely think a convention center in Baker being so close to the airport will definitely be good for Baton Rouge. And it's kind of funny because Baton Rouge has put just recently, a lot of emphasis on green space.
Right.
Well, you want to talk about green space, come to Baker.
Right.
I mean, it's like living in a park.
That's right. We have a lot of green space. But what I'm finding out, Dr. Fry, is that the people of Baker now are starting to come out of their homes as we build unity at the leadership level. If you have unity there, the people will start to come together in their communities, and I'm starting to see that now. They're cleaning up their yards and they're letting their neighbors know they are proud to live in Baker. They're proud to live in a small town such as Baker. Even though we've had all these problems and all these issues, we have not let it keep us down.
Now, before the flood, there was talk about a couple of different projects that were being started. Do you know if any of those plans have changed or if they're moving forward? I think there was out where a college used to be located on the west side of Baker. They were talking about doing something out there. Is there any?
Leland College, we've been in contact with the 4th District. They're still thinking about building a retreat in that area, which would be great for that area over there. I think the flood just slowed them down, and the councilman in that area, former Mayor Pete Heine, is working diligently with the community to just bring that community up. That's the next community to take a look at, because we're just going to build it up. We have a lot of plans for that area. If we get an opportunity, we really want to expand Baker down to 964. Mayor Rito did a wonderful job by acquiring the 55 acres to keep us going down to 964. He closed that deal, and we have a brand new business coming in there sometime at the end of the year. So things are looking good for us. We just have to stay focused on what it is that we want.
If you're a business and you're thinking of building or locating in the Baton Rouge area and you're looking for that ideal space, you really need to look at Baker, because of these main arteries that come off of the end of I-110,
right.
Whether it's Plank, what's the name of the other road you just mentioned?
Main Street, Highway 19.
Main Street, and then what's the other one that goes way
Groom Road.
On out past Leland College.
On out past Leland College, right.
The access is so easy to get back into 110 and get back into the main artery for distribution. The airport is right there. UPS is located at the airport, so I know all of us need shipping and everything else,
right.
And easy access. It just seems to be a city that has a good workforce that is willing to work. There's people here that want to be employed, and you've got restaurants, you've got businesses, you've got grocery stores, you even have an extra grocery store.
That's right, we do. We have an extra grocery store, the Shop a Lot. We have on one side, we still have the Walmart, and those two, they bow off each other. There's not really a competition. They're different. They're kind of different. And what makes it great is that our neighbors in Zachary and Central, they make a difference too, because they have different things there. And that makes the whole northern part of this parish stronger. Have a great working relationship with those two mayors and the Metro Councilwoman, Shauna Banks, and we have an excellent rapport with the new mayor president.
All right, so before we close out the show, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. Flood came because it rained. But is there any reason or blame to find out why Baker flooded?
We've looked into that, and the only thing we could do is look at our drainage system, which we've talked about, we've talked about this with congressional officials, the Baker Canal. We've looked at all the canals that run through. We've talked to the parish about their part of cleaning up the canals and stuff, and we're cleaning it up. We're doing that now. We have them working really, really hard on ditches and draining the ditches and cleaning them out now. And that's the only thing we can do.
So there's no single thing you can point to.
There's no single thing.
If we had that done, it wouldn't have flooded.
Couldn't tell you that. Nobody could ever tell you that in this parish.
Get on your knees and pray. That's how you're going to have a better life.
That's it.
Thank you very much for joining us on this first Baker Forward.
And thank you, sir.
I hope that we'll have more. Contact your councilman if you enjoyed the show and say, hey, let's learn more about Baker, and we'll move Baker forward together.